Financial headlines are currently anchored to a specific, enormous figure, $124 trillion. This is the projected scale of the great wealth transfer. To understand the $93 trillion currently held by baby boomers, consider that the entire American economy produced $31 trillion last year. One generation holds 3 times the total annual output of the country. While they make up only 20% of the adult population, boomers control 51.6% of all household wealth in the United States. This concentration of assets has fueled a widespread cultural assumption that a massive generational payday will arrive to correct the financial struggles of younger age brackets. These numbers have created a powerful historical narrative. However, the sheer scale of the projected transfer masks a series of structural leaks that prevent that money from ever reaching the average household. A recent teardown by Visa's economics team illustrates the reality of the $93 trillion pool by systematically subtracting the portions that never enter the general economy. This visualization represents the total boomer asset pool. We immediately remove the wealth of the top 1%. Their capital moves into foundations and irrevocable trusts, effectively disappearing from the reach of heirs and the public alike. Retirement spending further reduces the total. A private room in a nursing home now carries a national median cost of $129,000 per year. Because Medicare does not cover long-term custodial care, many estates are entirely consumed by the cost of staying alive. Debt remains a significant factor for the aging population. Roughly 31% of homeowners aged 80 and older still carry a mortgage, contributing to over $4 trillion in total boomer debt that must be settled before any inheritance occurs. When these factors are combined, the data shows that 7 out of 10 households will receive no inheritance at any point in their lives. For those who do receive a transfer, the median amount is approximately $69,000. Statistically, this money arrives when the recipient is 58 years old, the same age they are beginning to plan their own retirement. The transfer functions as a hereditary system that benefits the top 10% of the country, leaving the average person waiting for a windfall that is mathematically unlikely to arrive. The more significant generational shift is not the movement of money, but the movement of people. As the wealthiest generation exits the workforce, they are leaving behind a massive array of vacancies. This demographic cliff is known as Peak 65. In 2025, a record 4.18 million Americans will reach retirement age, meaning over 11,000 people are clocking out permanently every single morning. This volume of departures leaves employers in a position where they must hire approximately 142,000 people every month, simply to maintain their current staffing levels. This labor shortage provides automatic leverage to the working class. Last year, annual pay for trades like plumbing and electrical work rose by $9,000 as companies began bidding more aggressively for a shrinking pool of skilled workers. Entering the labor market during this period of high demand offers a reliable path to wage growth that operates independently of any family wealth. This vacancy extends beyond the job market and into the ownership of 6 million small and medium-sized businesses currently owned by boomers. More than half of all small business owners are now over 55. Despite being responsible for millions of jobs, roughly half of these owners have no succession plan for when they retire. The current rate of survival for these businesses is remarkably low. While 5% are sold and 3% are transferred to family, 92% of small business exits in America happen through complete closure. These are often highly profitable local operations, such as auto repair shops or HVAC contractors, with existing customer lists and paid-off equipment. They are being turned off simply because the owner reaches retirement age and no successor has been identified. These quiet closures are happening in neighborhoods across the country. They go unnoticed until a sign appears in the window, announcing that a business with 30 years of history has finished its final day of work. The current economy is deleting several 100,000 viable businesses every year because the traditional pathways for ownership transition have broken down, causing decades of local value to evaporate. For those interested in stepping into these vacancies, the SBA 7A loan provides a structured financial pathway for acquiring an existing business. The median American small business changes hands for $350,000. This price point is often lower than the cost of residential real estate in many metropolitan areas. Government-backed financing allows high leverage. An SBA loan covers 90%, requiring an equity injection of just $35,000. From a median $165,000 cash flow, subtracting $51,000 for debt service yields a net profit of $114,000. Generating that same $114,000 annual income from a traditional index fund would require a portfolio of $2.8 million. Acquiring a profitable, retiring business provides a mathematical shortcut to wealth that bypasses the decades of saving required by traditional investment models. This approach carries significant risk. An SBA loan requires a personal guarantee, meaning any failure of the business becomes a direct threat to the owner's personal assets. This is the acquisition of a highly leveraged operation that demands active, competent management. The housing market is unlikely to provide a separate windfall. When boomer homes eventually reach the market in volume, they are projected to arrive in more affordable regions rather than the high-demand metros where younger buyers are currently struggling. The most effective generational transfers are happening currently at the kitchen table. 26% of millennial homeowners report that they could not have purchased their homes without down payment assistance provided while their parents were still alive. Waiting for a future inheritance or a market-wide housing crash is a passive strategy that rarely aligns with the data. The most accessible opportunity lies in the physical and economic void left by the exiting generation. This includes the rising value of skilled labor and the sheer volume of profitable local companies currently looking for a successor. Within 20 miles of your current location, a profitable local business is likely nearing its final day of operation. Identifying these local engines before they shut down offers a direct path to ownership that does not depend on a mythical windfall.